Angel Reese the benefit of the doubt. RG3 claimed that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark.
Tragedy struck again in the WNBA. According to Twitter detectives, Angel Reese endured unspeakable hate. The only problem is that no one else saw, heard, or confirmed it.
Let's send our best wishes to Tyler Marsh. He's about to be called every name under the book.
Tyler Marsh destroyed Angel Reese by confirming that she is lying. And indeed, she is racist toward Caitlin Clark.
The more notable comments came from Tyler Marsh.
She has gone way down in the last year, just because she is jealous of a rookie.
Caitlin Clark, it appears to be racially motivated.
A lot is going to be unpacked in this video, so stay with us till the end. Let's go.
Chicago, the name Chicago Bravado. It's because that's what Angel Reese is filled with, false bravado, this false sense of confidence.
Angel Reese claimed that she faced racial and hateful comments from the audience during her game with Fevers. But there was a problem with her claim. What is that? Well, listen to it here.
Angel, can you please tell us what the fans said to you? Angel, can you please tell us what you heard when you were sitting at the check-in table?
You are assuming it correctly. That hate crime was so stealthy that not even the 12 cameras, 50 microphones, dozens of reporters, or thousands of fans caught it. In fact, not even Angel Reese caught it. But don't worry, Twitter did. How did it manage to do it? Well, in this way.
It appears a couple of Twitter trolls have completely dictated the coverage of the WNBA.
Let's break this down. ESPN broadcast the Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky game with every high-definition camera and directional mic imaginable. We're talking full-court visuals, crowd close-ups, even the squeak of a sneaker gets airtime. Yet, somehow, not a single racial slur was captured. Isn't it remarkable?
When did you become aware? When everyone else did. What does that indicate? That the Sky did not know or did not hear anything in real time.
And then there's the timing. Angel didn't gasp in horror mid-game. She didn't storm off the court. She didn't say a word in her post-game presser. You can see she is acting nervous in her post-game interview. But it was just because she lost the game and was disheartened by it.
Angel, can you take us through the flagrant foul from your perspective? Just what you saw in that play, how you interpreted what happened.
Basketball play, refs got it right. Move on.
Nope. The racism magically materialized hours later, online, via a wave of cryptic vibes and TikTok tantrums. Because nothing screams credibility like subtweeted trauma. But this whole social media vibe turned into a basketball circus within hours, making a lot of people a joke in front of the world. Do you know who was the prominent joker in this whole scenario? Well, here is the answer.
An investigation. And more than likely, the WNBA launched their investigation based on what people were saying on social media.
The WNBA's latest masterstroke in crisis management, launching a full-blown investigation into alleged racism without a shred of actual evidence. Bravo. Because why bother with pesky facts or eyewitness accounts when you can just whip up a scandal fueled by the finest ingredient in today's society? Social media hearsay?
One piece of evidence to support these baseless claims from the WNBA.
The WNBA, eager to show how serious it takes racism, immediately jumps on this digital bandwagon. They issue a grand statement condemning racism, as if anyone disagrees, then announce an investigation based entirely on online whispers, cryptic subtweets, and viral posts with zero concrete proof.
So that makes the Sky, that makes the Fever, that makes me, that makes everyone I talk to who was in the arena, everyone else who has spoken from the arena.
Meanwhile, Angel Reese sits comfortably atop this wave of outrage, her accusations unchallenged, her narrative amplified by a league desperate to appear woke and proactive. But then, a villain came into her story and destroyed everything. Who was that?
Came from Tyler Marsh, the head coach of the Chicago Sky. Here is what he said without further ado, which is probably the biggest bit of information, actual information we've gotten.
Chicago Sky's head coach, Tyler Marsh, claims he only learned about the alleged racial slurs the same way the rest of us did, by scrolling through Twitter after the game. This is what he said that changed the whole narrative of Angel Reese's sexual harassment claims.
Coach, when did you become aware that there was hate speech that happened?
I think when everyone else did. I think that it's something that we heard about, and so again, we're just forthcoming with anything that the league was able to do investigation on.
This timing discrepancy, the silence during the game, and the sudden vague cries of racism only after it ended raised more than a few eyebrows. If Angel Reese truly faced blatant hate speech, wouldn't she, her teammates, or the referees have mentioned it immediately? Wouldn't her own coach have picked up on it firsthand, rather than scrolling through Twitter hours later? The explanation of Tyler Marsh's statement has ruined the victimhood plan of Angel Reese.
What Tyler Marsh just admitted was he did not hear any hate speech during the game, and he didn't even know about this until the WNBA launched.
Now, after getting destroyed by her own coach, she decided to turn the story in her favor. But it bit her back quite badly. After 5 days of her fake racist claim, she shared a post on TikTok that showed the world her true colors. What was that post? Well, see it yourself before we proceed with this drama.
But the message, it says, "White girl running from the fade."
During a physical play, Reese's immediate reaction was to confront Clark directly. Not to glare at the crowd, not to point accusing fingers at the bleachers, but to stare down her rival face to face. That's a big neon sign flashing competitive frustration, not racist abuse victim.
Things were said to Reese, but no even proof that that person was there or not. Whether they were there or not, whether they saw or heard anything or not, nothing to back it up.
If Angel had actually been the target of hateful slurs from the fans, you'd expect some fiery eye rolls toward the stands, a gesture to security, maybe even a quick complaint to the refs. Nope. Instead, all the heat was on Clark, making it painfully obvious the drama was brewing on the court, not in the audience. But what was this drama? Well, it seemed like a senior basketball player was getting jealous of a rookie. KC will explain it in detail.
Angel Reese is damn sure jealous of Caitlin Clark. She's got a lot of anger. She has a lot of resentment towards the great white hope.
The curious case of Angel Reese's transformation, from a polite, competitive college player to someone seemingly consumed by jealousy and, dare we say, a sprinkle of racial bitterness. There was a time when she was sweet and away from any sort of racial hatred. In one interview, she made it clear that she could never hate anyone.
He and Caitlin Clark don't hate each other. Like, I want everybody to understand that it's just a super competitive game, and
But what happened now? How Reese's world has twisted from that friendly rivalry into something much nastier. Well, it appears that stepping into the WNBA came with a curious side effect. An apparent obsession with Caitlin Clark's soaring popularity and mainstream success. Instead of just focusing on the game, Reese suddenly seems fixated on undermining Clark, like a jealous shadow constantly lurking behind her rival's spotlight. Is it professional envy? Maybe. But it doesn't stop there. There's a darker undertone, whispers of racial resentment creeping in, souring what used to be a straightforward rivalry.
You guys remember last year when Angel Reese celebrated Kennedy Carter getting that flagrant foul on the hip check against Caitlin Clark? You remember that?
So, Reese's simmering disdain conveniently shows up when she joins the big leagues. KC also agrees with it.
Jealous because Caitlin Clark is a mainstream draw, while Angel Reese has been largely forgotten. People are not buying tickets.
The quiet respect and sportsmanship of the past got lost somewhere between college gyms and WNBA arenas, replaced by public digs and subtle racial digs, because, of course, jealousy alone wasn't dramatic enough.
Angel Reese would not be playing basketball anymore because she was going to sucker punch Caitlin Clark.
One can't help but lament this fall from grace. To go from a competitor who could say, "It's just competitive," to someone whose behavior reeks of petty bitterness and racial tension, it's truly a shame. Instead of focusing on basketball skills and teamwork, Reese seems more interested in stoking fires, dragging her rival's name through the mud with thinly veiled racial undertones. But the league appears to be targeting Caitlin Clark's fan base, covertly coded as white people in this whole spectacle.
Caitlin Clark. She's got a lot of anger. She has a lot of resentment towards the Great White Hope.
When white fans or players are involved, suddenly, the anti-hate police show up with flashing lights and sirens. But when racialized content is hurled at them, crickets. This glaring double standard paints a picture of an organization less interested in true equality and more invested in selective enforcement.
On social media, it has been almost a week since this supposed hate speech took place. In that time, there hasn't been a single shred of evidence presented.
One can't help but lament the WNBA's lost opportunity here. Instead of rising above the fray and applying its values fairly, it seems to have chosen sides in a racially charged game of favoritism. No space for hate has morphed into no space for hate, except when it suits us. Everyone is saying that the WNBA did wrong by taking quick action on Reese's baseless accusations, but not taking any action when she sexually attacked Caitlin Clark.
Wasn't it last Thursday that the WNBA launched their No Space for Hate campaign? No space for hate. No space for hate. Wouldn't this be an example of hate? Wouldn't this be an example of
The WNBA's No Space for Hate campaign? What a shining beacon of fairness and justice. Or so one would hope. But peel back the glossy PR and suddenly it looks like a spectacular exercise in selective outrage and spectacular hypocrisy. But wait, where's the same energy when Angel Reese herself reposts a TikTok that's dripping with racial provocation?
yesterday? Here we are, 24 hours later, and I have yet to see the WNBA launch an investigation. Well, that's strange.
This isn't some innocent meme. It's a pointed jab implying that Caitlin Clark is a scared white girl running from the fade, which, for those not fluent in street slang, means running away from a fight. Yet, despite this very public, racially charged insult coming from one of the league's own star players, there's deafening silence. No investigation, no statement, no public condemnation. Everyone is mocking the WNBA for this double standard.
Reese, this program was specifically designed for fans of Caitlin Clark, or as the media prefers to call them, white people.
This Angel Reese claim was busted by her own coach, who is lamenting her for making a racist claim about Caitlin Clark. And yet no one is taking any action against Angel Reese. One can't help but wonder, was the racial abuse accusation of Angel Reese a carefully timed afterthought designed to distract from a humiliating loss? Because what better way to shift the conversation than to throw out a serious allegation only after the game, when the cameras stop rolling and the fans go home?
Let's hear Angel Reese, and if you guys pay attention, listen to her voice and listen to how she's on the edge of breaking down. Very funny.
Hate speech.
Yeah, obviously there's no place in this league for that. I think the WNBA.
In the end, this selective enforcement only fuels division and skepticism. Fans and players alike are left wondering, is the league committed to eradicating hate, or is it just picking winners and losers based on color-coded narratives? If the WNBA wants respect and genuine unity, it might want to start by practicing what it preaches, rather than turning a blind eye when one of its players crosses the line. But hey, why let hypocrisy get in the way of a good hashtag campaign? After all, nothing says integrity like launching grand initiatives that conveniently ignore uncomfortable truths when they come too close to home. What are your thoughts about it? Do share with us in the comments section, and subscribe to our channel for more content like this.